Now, in fear of killing Europe's economic recovery, EU finance chiefs urged the ECB not to raise rates in haste yesterday. That warning came shortly after ECB chief Jean-Claude Trichet said that the bank is ready to lift rates, quote, at any time to fend off inflation. Now, for more, our EU correspondent Ray Frenken joins us out of Brussels this morning. Good morning, Ray.
Louisa, good morning. Well, as finance ministers are meeting to talk about a number of issues, including the value-added tax, the lower bracket of value-added tax, and also obstacles to cross-border M&A activity in the financial services sector. There's another event taking place in Brussels today, and that is the offering of the conclusions of the World Investment Conference. That happens this afternoon at tea time with José Manuel Barroso, and Pierre Guénot, the chairman of the World Investment Conference, will be offering the conclusions of that seminar last July, which we covered as well. Now, Mr. Guénot, what is this one single key message that you have as the World Investment Conference for the European Commission?
The key message is very simple. As soon as the first World Investment Conference in La Baule, we saw that economic development is not owned by the politicians. So we try to bring to the politicians our experiences, the experience of our members. We try to have inputs which are as pragmatic as possible. That's it.
Do politicians really matter in the European economy? Because reporting here from Brussels over the last few years, it's seeing on a daily basis that it's so hard for politicians to make decisions, and businesses have to go on every single day.
Well, we try to go to implementation. So we try to give advices, but also we try to help them to go to implementations from our ideas, from our inputs. And it's evident that they know their job, we know our jobs, and we try to put all these together to build a stronger Europe, and especially in those times.
Now, one of your initiatives that you're also presenting today is the launch of a new think tank called Europe Plus. You're co-president of the think tank. What does Europe Plus want to achieve?
Europe Plus, in fact, is a foundation before being a think tank, because we wanted the World Investment Conference in La Baule to be fully independent from the politicians, and this is why we have tried to build this foundation to act as a support to the conference, but also as a think tank. And this think tank, the think tank side, is shared by Sir Francis Mackay. So once again, we will try to be more efficient as to our inputs to the politicians, and especially to Brussels.
Brussels is already full of foundations and think tanks. Also, if you look at economic issues, the French and German governments took the initiative last year to create their own think tank, the Bruegel Group. That's very much a government think tank. Yours is going to be a business foundation, a business think tank. What will you do concretely to affect the agenda in Brussels? What can you do?
Well, what we can do is once again to try to bring to the other think tanks, and especially those think tanks which are managed more or less by politicians, coming from several countries, which is fine. So we will try to bring them our experiences coming from our jobs, our companies, which are more or less everywhere in Europe and sometimes everywhere in the world. And once again, we would like them to accept the fact that the civil society is fully involved as to the economic development and creating jobs and all those things. We are bringing the money, the ideas, and they have to try to apply and to implement all those ideas in the common life.
It may sound a strange question to you, but last night at the Eurogroup finance ministers meeting, the finance ministers were urging the ECB not to raise interest rates. They are saying, well, it could stifle, it could hurt economic growth, the little growth that there is in many Eurozone countries. Do you agree with that view?
Yes, I do share this opinion, but this is my own opinion. This is not the opinion of the think tank. I think it's too early to increase our interest rate in Europe. And I don't think inflation is close to us, apart from the fact that we have some problems with the petrol costs.
Apart from that discussion, do you think politicians like finance ministers should have a say in determining the interest rates?
Well, I think the European Bank has to be independent, but I think also that the governor and his management board, they have to take care of what is happening around them on both sides, I mean the political life and the economic life. So I hope they are able to listen to what we have to bring to them, including coming from the World Investment Conference in La Baule and the think tank.
Mr. Gunnar, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Good luck later today. Louisa, that's it from Brussels for now. I'll be back in about 2 hours with a preview as to what Charlie McCreevy has to say. He is launching a plan to deal with obstacles to cross-border mergers in the financial services sector. Only 20% of all M&A activity in the financial service sector is a cross-border deal, and that compares to an average in the M&A business of 45%. So a lot of progress needs to be made in that financial services sector, and Charlie McCreevy is going to tell us later today in Closing Bell how he believes that needs to be addressed.
Interesting, Ray. Thank you very much. Ray Frenken joining us live out of Brussels.